Coming up on Point News, making the city environmentally friendly has become a primary concern. Find out what Point Park and the city are doing to make where we live a little more green.
And celebrating Veterans Day, find out what Point Park did to thank the men and women who have served our nation.
Plus, kittens on the runway. Point News was there as a local organization raises money for a good cause. Point News starts right now.
Live from the Point Park University Broadcast Center in downtown Pittsburgh, this is Point News.
Good afternoon and welcome to Point News. I'm Tori Adams.
And I'm Chris Hoffman. Becoming environmentally friendly has become a global initiative and a priority in the city.
Point News reporter Tyler Jeske set out to learn how the city, specifically Point Park University, is joining the effort.
Construction is never ending here in the city of Pittsburgh as they begin their transition from the steel city of the past to the green city of the future. What was once known as one of the most polluted cities in the U.S. is now one of the most livable cities. Construction and renovation projects are striving to make Pittsburgh one of the greenest cities in the United States. Point Park is also in the process of making their campus more environmentally friendly with the George Roland Wright Performance Center and the new Point Park Playhouse, where construction is set to begin by the end of the year.
We try to incorporate LEED aspects in all of our projects. It is difficult with renovation projects.
The Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, or LEED, is a certification program that recognizes green building strategies and practices. In Pittsburgh, there are 39 LEED certified buildings, including Point Park's George White Performance Center, which is the first university dance studio to earn LEED certification.
A little further downstream, one of the last things we actually did on that project was we put bike racks in the building. That's to encourage, obviously students and faculty and staff to use bikes as opposed to automobiles and trucks.
Reporting for Point News, I'm Tyler Jeske.
Other environmentally friendly buildings under construction in the city include the PNC Tower and the gardens at Market Square. Both are scheduled to be completed in 2015.
This year, Point Park held its first Veterans Day ceremony. Crowds of people gathered at Village Park last Tuesday to honor those who have served. Point News reporter Alexis Adams has the story.
With flags raised and hearts full of pride, the university invited students in the downtown community to watch as faculty, staff, and student veterans were recognized for their service.
Thank you so much, veterans.
Park's Army ROTC representative, Sergeant Conrad Slider, was the guest speaker. He began his speech with a memory from 9/11.
People running up and down the stairs and down the hallways, and I opened the door and people were screaming that the towers got hit, the towers got hit.
Refreshments were provided, giving the honorees and attendees a chance to mingle and trade stories. One veteran shared with me how he felt about Veterans Day.
Numerous awards, so it means a lot to me to see what we're getting now compared to what he got back then in terms of treatment with healthcare and all this college and education, and just the nice overall showing of support, for the veterans, because he never got that in Vietnam.
Dean of Students Keith Palo says today's ceremony is just the first of many.
Our plan is this will be an annual event every 11th day of the 11th month of every year to say thank you to our veterans.
That was Alexis Adams reporting. Students also had the chance to write a thank you message on the banner for veterans here at Point Park.
Point Park students had the opportunity to voice concerns, ask questions, or just have fun at the most recent event held on campus. Point News reporter Olivia Fisher has more.
For UU News, I'm Olivia Fisher, and I'm outside Lawrence Hall Ballroom where USG is holding its annual Fall Forum. So what is the Fall Forum all about?
Well, the Fall Forum is really a way for students to connect with USG in a way that's really low pressure and low key. It's part of the Student Concerns Committee, so we just really want to hear students' voices, make sure their concerns are getting heard at the university.
And dozens of students jumped on the opportunity and lined up outside Lawrence Hall Ballroom Tuesday night to voice their concerns and opinions to the USG members.
What concerns are you going to bring up to USG members concerning the university?
Well, since I'm a commuter, my main concerns aren't really the same as those who live on campus. Definitely the commuter lounge could use better couches because they're not the most comfiest thing to sleep on, but that's all I can really bring up.
I think the meal exchange hours in the Point Cafe are really inconvenient.
I think we just have one.
So what's going on inside?
Disney theme, we have music, we have movies, we have trivia, we have food going on, coloring, everything. Just, if you name it, we got it.
How did you hear about the USG Fall Forum?
We saw the flyers all around and we just wanted to come and check out, what was going on. It seemed Disney themed and looked really cool.
Well, just saw an advertisement for a couple days ago in my email account. I thought it was cool, Disney themed, why not go?
Well, if it wasn't the Disney theme, the popcorn, pizza, movies, coloring, and sword fighting sure brought in a crowd for the Fall Forum.
So someone who's thinking about joining a club, what would you say to advocate USG?
USG is a club that would, one, we work with all the clubs. We do funding for all the clubs on the campus. And also, USG is one for somebody who really just wants to get involved and really wants to help see the university grow.
Reporting for UU News, I'm Olivia Fisher.
Rocking out for a cause, earlier this month, Point Park's radio station WPPJ held its annual charity event. Rockathon brings DJs out of the studio and into Lawrence Hall for 67 hours to raise money for the Early Learning Institute. This year was WPPJ's 34th Rockathon, and they said it won't be their last.
It's something local, and we're very happy to work with them. And it's always been the Early Learning Institute, different variations. They've changed their name over the course of the years, and it's basically just the ideas way back when, 30 some odd years ago. And we've just stuck with it because it is a great organization to continue to help and support, and we're proud to do it even today.
It's nearly $400 for the Early Learning Institute. Coming up on Point News, we woke up to snow this morning, Tori, and it looks like the wintry weather is going to be here for a while. Alexis Adams has this week's outlook.
And Kenny Chesney is coming back to the city. Find out when the country star is returning and what the city has done to prepare for his return.
We are a social people. We share our inspiration, wisdom, creations, and memories. We share what makes us laugh and what angers us. Built on the notion of a free flow of ideas, our country thrives on the freedom of speech. Without it, who would watch over our governing powers? And how would we share our history to make a difference for the future? It's this freedom to share that gives us a reason to listen.
Start your morning with City News.
Start your morning with campus news.
Start your morning with political coverage.
Start your morning with fun.
Start your morning with us, only on Daybreak.
Did you know that Point Park has a cheerleading squad?
Don't stop. Don't get it confused.
Not only do our cheerleaders represent Point Park at regional and national competitions, but they also promote spirit and awareness of every sports team on campus. Come to any men's or women's varsity basketball game at home to watch the cheerleaders perform at halftime and cheer from the sidelines from the first jump ball to the final buzzer. Sports not your thing? You can catch the cheer team lead the crowd at the fall and spring pep rallies as well, or at several competitions around Pittsburgh each year. So what are you waiting for? Show the Point Park cheerleaders the support they show you.
To me, freedom of speech means there are no barriers to voice opinions. Communication is key to a functioning society and relationships in those societies. I believe our forefathers gave us this right, so if concerns or problems arise, we have the right to respectively use words, aids, and body language to give our message. Compromise may not always be met, but when it does meet, it opens up the world to new ideas, relationships, and makes the world become a happier place.
New research shows that sexting and cyber dating abuse are becoming increasingly more common among teens. A new study by the Journal of Pediatrics shows that 2 in 5 teens experience cyber dating abuse. Experts say they could include your partner constantly checking your location, putting you down, and making you do things you don't want to do. The report also says that 30% of teenagers admit to being involved with sexting.
The outbound Fort Pitt Tunnel experienced the first of many closures this weekend. PennDOT has begun a $14.2 million project to remove the deteriorating ceiling, repair the walls, and more. Closures will continue again this weekend, starting at 10 p.m. on Friday and reopening at 6 a.m. on Monday. Some of the detours include West Carson Street and the West End Bypass.
Kenny Chesney is coming back to Pittsburgh. That's right, the country music superstar will be returning to Heinz Field during the summer of 2015. Now, the last time Chesney was in Pittsburgh in June of 2013, the singer's fans left the North Shore a mess. Police also made 73 arrests. Since the concert, the city has set up several guidelines for tailgaters to follow. Chesney's big revival tour rolls into town on May 30th. Still to come on Point News, we went from summer-like weather to signs of winter. Your weekend outlook is coming up.
Animals Take Over the Runway, the charity that benefited from this night of fun.
Here at the Pioneer Sideline, we get freshmen involved as quickly as possible so they get the real-world experience on air and behind the scenes to set themselves apart in internships and potential jobs. Blaine, where is that video? I needed it in KeyPro like yesterday.
All right, I got you, Chris. But I got a quick question for you guys.
What do you mean the questions?
Just, like,
it's always a
answer me
question.
look.
It's always a... What? Where is he? Blaine!
Blaine! Blaine!
Freshman, you can't find any good ones anymore.
Do you know all the things you can do with your student ID? Along with getting discounts to some of the restaurants around campus. Showing your Point Park ID can net you deals on tickets at theaters in the Cultural District. To check out all the current options, just search Student Discounts on the Point Park University homepage.
An expression, a belief, a symbol, freedom to worship, an unspoken word. To express yourself means standing up for what you believe in. There's a freedom to worship, and a freedom to live. To speak never saying a word, to love, to let your voice be heard. The light of your own path. For more information, visit www.freedomofspeechpsa.org.
Fashion shows are known to highlight the latest trends, Tori.
But, Chris, imagine if adorable adoptable pets hit the runway with the models. That's exactly what the Western Pennsylvania Humane Society did. Point News reporter Elena LaQuatra has the story.
Sweet, fluffy little kitten Felicity hit the catwalk tonight for the Western Pennsylvania Humane Society's annual Tales on the Catwalk event. But she wasn't the only pet who hit the runway.
I've never done anything like that before, so I was pretty nervous to start with, but I had Tyson on my first run, so all the attention was totally on him, so that kind of helped.
The Western Pennsylvania Humane Society's employees and volunteers switched out their work clothes for stylish jockey fashions and hit the runway with their favorite canines and felines by their sides. In addition to the fashion show, animal lover attendees enjoyed a ladies' night out, complete with hors d'oeuvres, wine, raffle prizes, and shopping.
There's all sorts of vendors here. There's everything from jewelry and silpata to obviously jockey fashion, as well as different vendors for your home. You can get lamps, all sorts of different things. Just a nice variety for ladies, things that ladies like.
Tales on the Catwalk is one of the many events that the Humane Society hosts each year to raise money for the shelter.
We actually are an open-door shelter, so we accept approximately 10,000 animals a year. And that's a lot of animals and a lot of mouths to feed.
If you're interested in adopting a pet, being a dog walker, or volunteering in some other way, you can check out WPAHumane.org. For Point Park News, I'm Elena LaQuatra.
We have great news about the adorable kitten Felicity that you saw Elena holding in the beginning of the story. Elena posted a photo of her on Facebook, and a Point Park student fell in love with the animal and went to the shelter the next morning to adopt her.
Now that's adorable there that the kitten was adopted. Boy, has not been so adorable is snow is on the ground, winter has moved in, and we are not even at Thanksgiving yet.
I know.
I
so
mean,
sad.
It went from 70 degrees last week to now wind chills in the negative digits already, Tori.
Yeah, can't believe it. Now Alexis Adams is here with our look at the week ahead. Alexis?
Indeed, you did wake up to snow this morning. It was 18 degrees when you woke up, and this afternoon it was around 21 degrees, and at 5 o'clock it'll be 17 degrees. So there's no hope of going back to 70 degree weather, but there's hope of getting your coats and preparing for the snow that we saw this morning. For our week outlook, we will see that Thursday is going to be 30 degrees, and our low on Wednesday is going, Thursday will be 30 degrees, and our low on Thursday will be 18 degrees. But Friday may look a little bit more promising, with 31 degrees being our high and 19 being the low. I can't tell you any more promising weather over here. I can tell you is that PennDOT was out already preparing for that ice so we can drive safely on the roads, and that there won't be any accidents. So drive safe, dress warm, and prepare for snow. Back to you at the desk.
Catcher Russell Martin is no longer a Pittsburgh Pirate after declining his qualifying offer from the Bucs. Martin signed with the Toronto Blue Jays for 5 years and $82 million. Pitcher A.J. Burnett will return to the ball club, though, after spending a year with the Phillies. The veteran right-hander agreed to an $8.5 million deal for 2015. And the Pirates are still negotiating with pitcher Francisco Liriano and second baseman Neil Walker. It's been a pretty good week for the Pittsburgh sports fans, as the Steelers are now 7-4 after Monday night's primetime matchup. The Steelers were favored to beat the 2-win Tennessee Titans, but managed to step away with a slim victory of 27-24. The Steelers are currently in second place in their division, just behind the Cincinnati Bengals. They have a week off before returning to Heinz Field to play the New Orleans Saints. The Penguins have bounced back with 2 straight wins against the Toronto Maple Leafs and a shootout win against the New York Rangers. The Pens beat the Leafs 2-1 with 2 goals from Pascal Dupuis and 30 saves from backup goaltender Thomas Greiss. On Saturday, the Pens squeaked out a victory against the Rangers with a final score of 3-2. Going into a shootout, the Pens received goals from Sidney Crosby and Brendan Sutter. The Penguins' next game is tonight against the Montreal Canadiens. And the Point Park Pioneers keep the high spirits going, and the women's volleyball team defeated Indiana University Southeast 3-1 Saturday in the finals of the KIAC tournament. The win qualifies them for the NAIA National Championships for the second time in the university's history. The Pioneers will play against Georgetown in the first round November 22nd. The men's soccer team did not do so well, however, Saturday night, as they lost in the KIAC championship game to number 1 ranked Rio Grande with a final score of 3-2.
Now, Jillian, you mentioned that red hot, how the Penguins are like red hot right now. Now, that weather's not so red hot right now. Maybe let's take a look at that weather again. We saw temperatures in the 30s. Barely even making 36 tomorrow.
Yeah.
My goodness, that snow's getting ridiculous.
It's going to be extremely chilly outside. It's 36 degrees. We've just seen 70-degree weather. So it's like, what is going on? But what can we expect? I wasn't expecting snow before Thanksgiving, however. But we're going to have a winter wondery Thanksgiving. Why not?
Yeah, we might have a white Thanksgiving. I know the song's White Christmas, but my goodness, we might see snow while we see Tom Turkey running around on the field on Thanksgiving.
Exactly. PennDOT was already out last night salting the roads to make sure that we have a safe travel to and from work and home, wherever you may be going. So it's coming with full force. We can't stop it.
Oh, yeah. No, I already have a thing of kitty litter in the back of my car just in case.
Right. I had to pull out my boots like, oh, man.
And after last winter, it's like, it doesn't even feel like winter ended when last year was.
No, we didn't even have a real summer. What happened to summer? We didn't have it. It was non-existent.
All right. That does it for Point News this week. Join us again this Thursday live at 2 p.m.
Have a great week, everybody.